Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our episode 5 of the On Point Weekly Laser Training. So, trust we've been getting something out of these past sessions. You've had the opportunity to join us live today. Thank you, and those that can't make it. But welcome back. I'm here again with Nigel, and we look forward to going deeper today into the rotating lasers as we move through the series.
So this week what we're going to cover off on is a quick overview of what we covered off on last week, the E60, the I66R and the I77R. And then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the I88R and I88G range in the rotating laser and the I99R rotating laser. So we'll dive in. Any questions, put them in the Q&A because these are a little bit more complex, these units, and we really want to make sure you're getting the understanding that's needed.
Yeah, so basically, as Nigel said, we want to get that better understanding. We want to thank everyone really for taking the time to want to learn more in regards to this category. So this good quote here from Brian Tracy: "Be a lifelong student. The more you learn, the more you earn, and the more self-confidence you'll have." So that's essentially what we really want to get at, is give you guys the confidence to have this conversation in the stores in regards to laser levels and getting the confidence in knowing what's best for what application. I know it sounds we say it a lot, but that's the main aim of the game, is to give you guys the confidence. So join in, get the questions in, as Nigel said, and let's help you answer and we get along the way.
Okay, so week 4 overview. So what we touched on last episode, was the Imex E60. So this is our base model laser up the top here, rotating laser in the Imex rotating laser range. So it's basically more for your DIY, handyman, the tradie that's not going to use a laser a lot on a really regular occasion. They come in a hard carry case with a tripod and stuff. So that's all together as a whole kit combined. Then the I66R. So that's got very similar features as the E60. So it's just a self-leveling horizontal only laser, one button function. But this time you've now got the LRX6 German-made millimeter receiver. You've got the 9 amp hour lithium battery platform, 5-year warranty over against a 3-year warranty, and it's just more for your tradie, for the bigger tradie. You've then got the the I77R. This time with the I77R, very similar to the 66R in the fact that it's a horizontal only, self-leveling, 9 amp hour lithium battery. It's now got the LRX10 receiver, so a little bit longer pickup, and you've got a single axis manual grade capability. So that's the single grade over your Y axis. So if you want to have more information on this and you weren't on last week, or you didn't see last week's episode, it is on the website now under the resources page, and have a look through that, and you can dive a little bit deeper into them. So we'll jump into the I88R and 88G.
What we've got with the I88 series is both units share exactly the same functions and features. The only difference is that with the I88R has got the red beam laser in it, I88G's got the green beam laser in it. So that sort of separates your trades out a little bit. With your trades, so the I88G, it's more suited for the builder and your carpenter and those commercial builders, guys doing suspended ceilings and warehouse fits. So that cross section between doing external and internal work, that's where it'll do exactly the same as the red beam outside with your normal receiver. So for doing your normal house, set outs and house pads, or doing for slabs or whatever.
So it's really for the tradie that's mainly using it externally, but then they move inside for the internal. So like a commercial builder, when they do their foundation work, and then they come inside and they start doing the fit out of a commercial building, the green beam, they'll then get the advantage of that green light.
Yeah, and then general, so like a lot of times in general building, what you've got with the 88G, you've essentially got a rotary laser, but you've also got a line laser in a way you can see it inside. So that's where it's really good for the general builder will do the external from the external works to his actual fit out and fix out. So that's where it comes in really handy. So the other feature with the 88 series, you go from being horizontal to horizontal and vertical. So that's really good. So with the vertical one is you can set it on its side. So you've got little pins on the back, or you can put it directly onto your tripod. So what it does all on the horizontal, it also do on the vertical. So this gives you the function where you can actually then, the pumps out the bottom, pumps out the top. set your 90 degrees. So it helps guys set out for internal work. And then with the red beam 88R, you can then use that like guys doing landscaping when they do some verticals, getting some up the retaining walls, straight, that sort of thing, up the bricklayers as well. Then you've also got, say, general with the 88R, that would be generally more targeted than to guys just doing external work only. They're not ever going to use it inside, but they want the functionality of being able to slope it both ways or use that vertical applications. So yeah, your general landscapers, your concreters, you know, earth movers and plumbers to that point, so that sort of shares that a little bit.
And this time they're dual grade. So
yeah, so you've gone dual grade from single axis on the 77 to dual. So that's your X and Y axis. That's clearly marked on the top which one's X, which one's Y. Your remote control then also has it on there. So this unit with the remote control is setting the grade. So whereby with the 77R, it's a single grade, you can see down the bottom. It has your single grade axis, whereas the 88s have the dual axis, so as we mentioned. So that way, you can turn it on, you put it into the slope function, and then you've got your both X and Y. So on the next part, on the next slide, what we showed there is what we showed last week is how to set that manual slope function. So you get the unit level. Now, where the dual is handy over against a single is in an application like you're doing a car park, something like that, and you want to do a fall into a pit in one corner, you can then set your laser up on the dial in the opposite corner, and on a 1% fall on say the X-axis and a 1% fall on the Y-axis, will then run everything down to the corner, so the water will then fall into that corner, as you can see on the bottom on the screen there. That's what the dual is. Again, it is worked out manually like the 77R, so you actually have to measure it out. So it's as accurate as you measure it. So you want to measure it 10 metres, measure it 10 metres at 1% fall, 100 mil down, you can drop your receiver down, and it's going to be as accurate as you measure it out. So we'll have that, we'll have this again on, it's all on our resource website. So anything else in the differences, Nigel, between the 88R and 88G?
I think that's good. If they've got any questions, anyone got any questions, put them in the Q&A and we're happy to answer them. But just remember the 88G is the green beam version, the 88R is a red beam version. If you've got a customer that needs the dual grade, but doing it in completely outdoor work, the I88R is ideal for that. Whereas if you've got a customer that is using in applications where they do the external work and they also do a bit of internal work as well, the 88G is ideal builder's laser. It's really the ideal builder's rotary laser, the green one.
Yeah, so we'll just cover off those functions again. So it's horizontal, vertical, we've got the two-way manual grade. The other one function we didn't discuss was the scan function. So what the scan mode is on the 88 model is, rather than spinning around like it is now, with the scan you can then run it forward and back in one area. Now that's all on the remote control. So you hit the scan button, the unit will then stop, and then it will find its spot, and then now we can scan it. So with a scan, that builds the intensity up in the beam. You can then jog it with your jog side to side. So that'll scan at 10 degrees at 360 degrees, 45, 90 and 180, so it's going forward and back, not spinning. That's building the intensity up in the beam, which means you can see it better. So doing suspended ceiling or setting window heights and that sort of thing, or setting stumps underneath the house if you're doing house removal, that sort of thing, that's where it's really handy. You can actually move the beam around and it's not spinning around, so you actually see it a lot better as well.
The
visibility. So it's a lot better like that. So the other function these units, the 88s have over the 77, we discussed last week, the high alert, so whereby when the unit gets bumped and knocked, it won't stop and start again because they're all self-leveling and automatic. They have that function as well, but they share what we call the win function. So the win button down the bottom corner, so you're going to go back from the slide there. So on the win button there, just above the power light there, what that does is, so if you're in an area where the accuracy is not absolutely paramount, but you've got a lot of vibration and wind from machinery, it doesn't warn your external trades, what will happen is the unit will continue to level itself the whole time, won't actually stop and start between that, so it's not stopping and starting, so you don't get any consistency in pickup if you're in a high wind area. So hopefully that sort of covers that a little bit there as well. All right, 99.
So the I99R. So basically with the I99R, you have very, very similar functions to the I88 series, as in it's a it's a horizontal and vertical laser, so you can also tip this on its side. You can screw it straight into the tripod on the vertical. You've got your 600 metre diameter range, your lithium battery, the LRX 10 receiver, and this time it's a dual grade laser as well, but it is now a digital dial-in dual grade. So as you can see on the screen there, you've got the digital LCD screen, so you can literally put in the percentage. So as we were discussing about trying to work the grade out with the manual style of laser, this time you can, if you've got a certain application that needs an x-axis of 3.25%, you don't have to measure that out, work it out manually. You literally just punch in 3.25% plus on the x-axis, and you'll have that 3.25% automatically set into your laser. So the laser will automatically set that. You set and forget, and you then do your application that you're using it for.
So this is where the 99 is obviously spread beam, so you don't have that punching beam. So it's really like the 88R, but it's on the digital. But also with it, so when it comes to the trades, as we discussed, you can use the 88 with the earth moving and plumbing. This is ideal for those guys, as you mentioned, that they're using it all the time, and they need to have an accurate grade all the time. So guys doing plumbing and the drainage and all, and they're using grade, majority of their time they're using it on angle, not level. So they're using it on something. Either one or both axes they're using a grade. So
yeah, so like if you have a plumber that you ask the question and they say, yeah, I do a lot of drainage work. 9 times out of 10 that when I'm using a laser, I will be doing drainage. The I99R is the ideal laser for that, because they're not going, if they're using it that often, they won't be wanting to try and set that manual grade all the time. They'll want the convenience of the digital grade, where they can literally just punch the grade in and then get you onto their job.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that what it is, it brings in consistency to accuracy as well, because with the manual grade, it's only as accurate as measured out and set up. Now the other thing too is obviously with the little green book which you guys have available on the app and in the book and on our website, this is really good to leading the conversation as to how to get these questions asked as to whether the guy is using grade. They might say, yeah, we're using it, but you want to kind of know how often they're going to use it, and do they want to use this grade in, if they want an automatic grade, they can set it up, or they want a manual grade. So really good to start the conversation with the trades we just mentioned around the automatic grade, because then you'll find that if they tend to, we don't really need it all that often, that's when you can sort of step back to the 88R and the external trade. So just good to know that, so kind of where you take the conversation in regards to 99 and the 88R. So we've got a couple of questions have come in. So the first question we've got here is, what's the run time between these models we've discussed? Good question, sorry we didn't mention it before. So we have touched on it earlier in one of the episodes in regards to the green and the red. So with all the Rotary Lasers running on the 9 amp hour lithium battery system, you're looking at a 3.5 to 4 hour full charge. Now, they run on, so it's on the USB-C charge, so you can charge in the battery directly. What happens as well is so you're getting up to 40 hours runtime out of the red beam units, which have got your battery light indication on the front. Now on the 99, you've got the LCD giving you an indication. With the 88G, you'll only get around the 25 hour runtime, so it does draw more power. So it's good to understand it. So it's a really good question. So on your greens, you always draw more power than the red. So with these models though, same charge time, but 40 hours runtime out of the red beams, 25 hours out of the green. So I hope that answers that question. Okay.
Another good question there is the I99R available in a green beam? The answer is no. There's a couple of reasons why. Firstly, if we go back over and what we were discussing in I think it was episode 1 about the red and green beam myth, the green beam myth. A lot of people have that idea that the green beam is going to work a lot better outside, and actually when you're in direct sunlight, you're not going to see the green beam, so you get actually no advantage out of having a green beam. And that also means that because the green beam costs a little bit more, it means it's going to cost a little bit more to buy this unit, but yeah, predominantly using it externally, so you're not getting any advantage of the green. The other really good point to make, which will lead on to the next question there, is that because they're an external laser, people will probably use, a lot of the time people will use a machine control receiver.
Can I use the 88G with a machine control receiver? So that's sort of not touching on there. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so the machine control receivers, any machine control receiver on the market is a red beam style machine control receiver. So they'll only be able to pick up a red beam laser. So a machine control receiver, for those that don't know what it is, we're going to touch on it next week, but they're basically a laser receiver, but they're quite large and they fit on the side of the machine. So for an example, an excavator driver will put it on the arm of their excavator and they don't have to get in and out of the cab to check their level, or they don't have to have a labourer standing inside the trench checking level. So it's not only is it takes out the OH&S risk, it also time efficient, so you don't have to get in and out, and it saves the contractor some money as well, because they're not paying two wages as one man.
Come off from that bill next week, because there's some really interesting points. What's the best match for music? So we'll go over that.
Yeah, so that's the reason why there isn't a green beam in a 99.
Questions? Any other questions? I believe we've sort of covered it off there. We've got another one, just one other question there in regards to the accuracy of the lasers. We have covered off on this. So all the rotary lasers in the I-77 and I-99 are plus or minus 1.5 million 30 metres accuracy. Now, just so everyone understands, all the lasers are checked. They come with a calibration to do so they're well within that standard as well when they leave. So they've got that, and the first calibration in 12 months is free as well, and they can all be calibrated in service. That's all the lasers. So
one thing on that question about the accuracy and then the calibration, it's a really good point to make. Now we've sort of completed the actual rotating laser range and the line laser range, is that a calibration is, we basically say a calibration is like changing your tyres on a car. So it's a wear and tear thing. A laser will go out of calibration. It's because there's a whole lot of little motors and moving parts inside. And so basically it is a wear and tear thing. So it's not covered by warranty as such. We do the first calibration the first 12 months free, but after that there will be a charge. So it's just a point to make so your customer knows as well as you guys.
Yes, please, we always say to guys, look after them. The better you look after them, the longer they're going to last, and the longer the accuracy is going to last as well. Very much look forward to you joining us again next Wednesday at 10:30 a.m, which will cover off on more the accessories that will go along with the tools, and we'll just do a bit of we'll be doing an overview of what we've covered off in the past in these past 5 weeks. So, again, thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Talk to you soon.